they can hear us, and then we'll get the stream started.
And we're not really looking at the chat too much, so just so you know that.
Yeah.
This is going to be a really weighty stream, so probably not. We won't be able to answer a lot of questions, but that's why you get us next Friday. And Damon has given us a weird thumbs up. All right, we're good to go.
Okay. So hello everyone. This is the Villagers and Heroes Wellspring first look, where we're going to look at several of the features of Wellspring, our new expansion coming out in 2 weeks.
Expansion, not a build.
Yeah. I am Cameron, also known as Diet on the forums, and here with me
Sarah.
Just Sarah on the forum. Sarah Otter.
Sarah Otter, Otter Gal. Oh, by the way, Damon is on my account on the Twitch chat, which means he's being Otter Gal, just so you know. That's not me. Whatever he says, no.
So if Otter Gal starts talking about how great Damon is, you know.
Instantly know. There we go. Good one.
So in this stream, we're going to kind of go over many of the features that Wellspring has. Some of this will be repeat information off of the website that you guys have seen, but we'll be going into a lot more detail. If there's time, we might do a little bit of Q&A at the end, but we kind of don't think there will be time.
But we will have time for something, which is we're going to do a raffle.
Yes.
So we're going to do 3 fun giveaways, and we have a little Twitch bot, which probably won't work because things don't always work. But if that doesn't work, we have a human bot, and his name is Ever, and then he's going to randomly draw somebody, three winners from the Twitch chat, and it's going to be fun. Okay, so there's that at the very end.
So, and you guys, if you do have questions, you can throw them out in chat. We probably won't see them, but Evar is going to be in chat and maybe trying to answer a few questions. And then also next week we'll have an AMA on Reddit, so you can get questions answered there. And then next Friday we will have a ledger release, which Sarah's working on a great edition of the ledger.
It's actually going to be on Thursday.
Oh, Thursday.
Yeah.
A day early. And then Friday we will have a Q&A live stream where it's just questions and answers, so you guys can come and we can just get all your questions answered there. Real quick, as we get started, I just want to say a little shout out to my little man. I have a little 9-month-old who is watching the stream, so that doesn't look good.
Yeah, did something weird just happen with something that says you've got a time machine, that content is unavailable?
Are we still live, Otters?
Damon?
Something just happened.
Of course it did. Right when we're about to start, of course.
I'm just waiting for the delay.
You guys see us?
You're still live.
Okay,
that's weird. Our own thing just went completely dead.
Yeah, we can't see chat or anything anymore.
We're blind.
Maybe we'll try to refresh it and see what happens.
Okay.
Okay, looks like it's working.
Oh,
anyway, so shout out to little man out there. Hey, little buddy.
Baby.
Okay.
Let's do this.
All right, so Wellspring.
Wellspring.
Sarah, why don't you tell them about the name Wellspring?
Okay, Cameron, I'll tell them about the name Wellspring. So first off, we didn't rip it off from that line in Conan the Barbarian, as some of you might be thinking, that James Earl Jones one with... Anyway, I won't go into that. So really, this build expansion, it's about replenishment, rejuvenation, spring, new life abounding. It's about this beauty of the natural world, and with that comes the beauty of crafting and gathering and getting your hands dirty in the earth, and the beauty of simplicity, i.e. these new wonderful systems that less is more, I think. There's a purity to it. But most of all, the idea of Wellspring, just the word alone, it's the idea of the source from which great essence and power originates from, and it's an unending supply of something. And I think that's sort of indicative of villages in a way. It's, you know?
Yeah, and I think we talked about that in some of our meetings, how, like in olden days, they would create a village on a spring because then they would have water, they'd have fresh water.
The fountain from which it flowed, the life.
So it's like in our villages, they have the wellspring, which is like giving them life.
And yeah, so it's, I mean, run with this idea of the cooperative spirit. You give unto your village, and your village gives back in this huge way. And if you hadn't picked up on it, Wellspring is very much village oriented. It's just a big love letter to villages in a great way. And on that note, oh, I have one more thing to say. Damon's going to say I'm babbling. So it also turns out that there's some nursing homes and retirements that are named Wellspring.
Oh.
Like, that's a popular name, so I just want to make it very clear, not a nursing home.
Yeah.
Not a nursing home. Yeah.
Should we tell them a few of the reject names?
Ooh, yeah, reject names. We had like 25. Well,
yeah,
we had a lot.
We had a lot, yeah.
Genesis was the main
Genesis
one.
was the name of the expansion for a little while, but then Sarah came up with Wellspring, actually, and we all really liked it.
Kind of snappy.
Wasn't...
Like, now I can't think of anything.
Kinship was one.
Kinship.
Like, it was like the idea of villages and community.
Right. Plentitude was one,
Yeah.
I think. Then I had a whole string of weird ones, none of which I can remember right now.
Oh, one was... something about Zenith, the Verdant Zenith.
Oh,
or
yeah.
something.
Damon kept adding weird words in front of it.
It just kind of got weird, though.
Yeah, no
But
verdant,
Wellspring,
no
we just
verdant.
we just loved it. And then our artist Ivar came up with that gorgeous logo of the well that's like bubbling.
Have you all seen that?
Oh, so anyway, so we're very excited about Wellspring.
Yeah. And we like one words, just like a one word name.
Yeah.
Big on that. Okay.
So the question is why this expansion and why are we doing it? So we had Starfall last September, which was a big success. Lots of new players came back, and it's doing really well. Starfall was very much focused on the combat side of the game. Additionally, from
Putting
what
it
some
mildly.
of the putting it mild, is very combat focused, and it was a little more complex. Like there was the stats and all the different stats and the gear and itemization and all that kind of stuff.
Another understatement. It was very complex.
So Starfall was combat, and it was complex. And as we were preparing the next batch of content for you all, we realized that there was several different things that we wanted to change about the villager side of the game. We also wanted to get a lot of the mobile features relating to villages complete, and so it kind of fit well that we kind of packaged this all together. So where Starfall was combat and complex, Wellspring is village and simple. But simple in a good way, as Sarah said.
Less is more.
Yeah. So with that being said, I think we'll jump into the features. We have a lot to talk about.
Buckle up, folks.
So first, we're not going to be able to show you any of this right now because we're on the PC, but several new mobile features, which they're not new features, like the PC players have had access to these, but with Wellspring, mobile players will have all game functionality that PC players have.
Am I hearing the cheers? Come on, it's been a long time coming, and we're very excited, and we hope you guys are too.
So just a brief list, Sarah, you want to...
Okay, well, let's start with the one that I know that I think every mobile player who has played this game has just been desperately craving the most. It starts with an E. Any guesses? The word is enhancing! Yeah. Enhancement has at last been added. We're very, very excited about that. That's huge. But next, I think, yeah, we have a little cheat sheet, sorry, just so you know. Village politics. My gosh, we've had all these players who live in villages, can't do projects, can't vote for mayors, can't help in any way. I even had a player say, I'm a mayor, and I don't know why or how, and how do I stop being a mayor? Anyway, so all of that is gone. At long last, this huge portion of our players can now do everything in the villages that you haven't been able to, and it is pretty styling the way it looks, which we can't show you because we're on PC, but you need to trust us.
Yeah. And then finally, just a small one, but the animal shopping list, which was a highly requested feature, so that mobile players can see what their farm animals will be asking for.
Yeah, well, this time they weren't able to.
So there are still like one or two very small little like UIs around the game that mobile doesn't have, but they're all informational stuff and not like actual game mechanics like enhancement and village politics and projects. So we're excited about all that. So,
all right, yeah, it's about to show you.
Moving in,
now we'll show them stuff.
We're going to talk first about the village.
Woo! Okay, so every now and then I get to interrupt Cameron and I pretty much just get to say, I want you guys all to know what a beautiful, amazing job he did with the villages. It is just, I think, stunning. I mean, I always say this is some of his best work, but there's some truly, truly beautiful stuff here. And I really hope you guys are going to appreciate it, because I just truly think it's fantastic. Okay, no more adjectives. Let's go.
So to start, this is something that players often get confused about, and it's a highly requested feature. So if we look up here, so right now I'm in a village. I'm in the Lakeside district. I'm just kind of looking off into the sunset. And if I click my map, I'm actually not moved into this village right now. So if I open my map up, you can see all these little green house icons everywhere.
What are those green house icons?
Mouse over one. Vacant house slot.
What?
So
we can see vacant houses on the maps now? What?
So a new player entering a village that doesn't have a house will instantly see everywhere that they can go move into. There's no wandering around looking for signs.
Oh my God, which takes forever, and it's so crowded, and it's going to be instant now.
Yeah, so new players will have a lot easier time finding a house slot. And these go away once you're moved in. So we'll kind of demonstrate that right now. I'll move into this house right here.
Let's check out some of these new islands. Are you seeing some of these? Looks like you're doing a jig in the water. Yeah, you're so happy you got your house. You're doing a jig.
And so once I moved into my house, all those are gone, and the village is back to normal.
There we go.
So
you've been
nice
elected mayor.
Oh, yeah.
Look at you.
So another big change with Wellspring is the village districts are now auto-open. They're no longer village projects that villages have to work towards. Every village automatically starts with the full 60 slots, and both Lakeside and what was the Graveyard District, which we'll get into,
yes,
totally open. So you can be a brand new village, and the first person who moves in can move right into Lakeside, which is where we're at. So this is Lakeside. It had a little bit of revamp going on. So kind of run around here.
Look how pretty it is.
One kind of neat thing is the islands were definitely prime real estate. Lots of players loved to have their house on their own island.
For sure.
So we made a few more islands and moved some of the house slots that were up on the cliffs down onto the islands.
Actually, Cameron, that's a question people have been wondering. If their lot has been relocated somewhere else, what will happen to their house?
It will be relocated.
Exactly, the new spot. So you won't poof, you won't vanish, you're just suddenly going to be elsewhere.
You'll have your own island.
Your own island.
Just that. So you can see that the lakeside was it used to be a little bit more tropical with some palm trees and such, but it's been rethemed to match the rest of the village, and that was intentional, which we'll get into later when we talk about some of the other village projects. Mm-hmm. So you can see it's just kind of green, lush, and lots of cool stuff. So that's the lakeside, and next, we're going to just run right into the village, and we'll show you some of the other cosmetic improvements of the village.
Yes. Where are we running to next?
Also, well, right here, so we'll notice there's village teleporters. There always have been village teleporters, but now they're the map kind, so you can just easily, and if you see, I think we added 7, and there were already 4.
Yeah, so it's about 9 now,
There's a lot. There's 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, there's 12. So, really quick, able to just zip around in your village.
Once you open them, make sure you get them all open first.
Once you get them open. Yeah. So, and it costs 0. There's no cost to actually teleporting.
Is it just me, or a lot of these new teleporters have the same names as other NPCs in our game? Like Marilla.
It could be.
Isn't she a brindle?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think you're right. So we'll head back to the main village. This is kind of a little bit of
redone. Little galloping. You guys note how
I'm just going to check something. So we'll walk into the village, and we're in the development mode, so this is an empty village because it's what we call single player.
Yeah, dev server or whatever.
So you'll see.
Show them the new house.
Yeah, so the main part of the village, the town center, is a little bit more town center-y feeling. There's larger, big buildings.
Go close. There we go. I really like these. You guys see these?
Yeah.
Right?
So that's the town hall. Town hall's right there. Otter Settlement Town Hall. The new little vendor area over here has all these different kinds of vendors.
We'll get into later.
Some horses. The vault is no longer just a weird brick building. It's actually a whole building, and you can just click on the door at any time and you can access the vault.
No, that's a great one.
In general, just the whole village is kind of touched up, just to kind of look more lush and kind of everything matched.
Inviting and, well, wait till you see what else you can do. Anyway, we're not there yet. Getting ahead of myself.
And so we're going to go ahead and head down to what was the Graveyard District.
Also known as living in hell.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I've lived in the Graveyard District many, many times over the years. I hated it. It was so depressing. I felt like I was banished in some penal colony. I just never wanted to go to my house, and it was awful, you know. Which isn't to say, I know a lot of people you do like the Graveyard, some of you do, so don't worry, there's still a way you can have that really hellish, scary feeling. You're fine. But so get ready to see the new. It's now called the Burrows.
The burrow.
Dun dun dun! And I'm here to supply background music like that.
So it is now just like a serene little outlet of the village.
Don't you so want to live in this part of the village now?
Quiet little area. Several teleporters to get quickly back.
Yep. I love it.
It also has its own vault access now. There's a community vault access right in the center.
So you don't always have to go running back and forth. No more of that.
Teleporters are just everywhere, so no matter where you are.
Mass teleporters.
And it has its own vendors, more teleporters.
So pretty much this area is now where the cool
vault.
people are going to be. It's where you're going to want to be.
Yeah. So hopefully this will be more prime real estate.
Oh, it's definitely prime real estate.
Let's see.
Village. Do we already do the teleporting to the house? Oh, we have an edit.
Well, yeah. So speaking of all the different teleporters, one of the new things is when you teleport to your village now, or when you're in your village, you actually teleport directly to your house.
Yes.
So no longer having to go to the travel pad and then wander down to your house. So we can open up the map, and as you guys remember, we settled in Lakeside, so I can just click on my house. Would you like to teleport to your house? Yes. Which there's a small gold cost, which is with all teleporting, but if you have Ardent Society, it's free.
I think this is awesome. I'm one of those people who would run around and around looking for my house.
Yeah. So right at your house. And when you teleport to the village from another zone, same thing. It goes right to your house.
Door. Yeah. This is awesome.
Oh, and by the way, in Lakeside there's also a vault access point. So that's a new thing.
Each district has its own. Yeah. Village sky. Tell them about the sky.
So we did touch up on all of the different skies from the Empyrean Machine project. Several of them people liked, and several of them were just too dark. They just never got updated correctly or something, and they were just really dark, and we noticed nobody was even using them because they were just so dark. So we kind of took a pass and made things lighter and kind of brought more color into all the different skies, and maybe we can look at a few later.
Definitely.
But so just kind of new, and so there's...
It's going to feel really nice.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like you do all the work for the Empyrean Machine and you only have like 4 options.
Right,
actually,
you're like,
it's like, oh, now all of them.
Shade darker.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And then the last thing is we'll just look at the village menus real quick.
Yeah. So no, this is huge, you guys. Yeah. We really want to actually.
So there's always the village menu or icon on the menu, but now it's no longer nested. It's just right on the village, just for convenience, and you can open it up.
So anywhere now you can do this anywhere, not just in your village.
So all of the stuff that you need is right here. It shows you all the village project stuff. It shows you your village population, who your mayor is. You can look at the new roster, which it's very clearly laid out. Eva did a great job on these menus.
Yes.
Shows all the different permissions, the different ranks, and gives easy way for everyone to upgrade and such. And this menu is very, very, if not identical to the menu on mobile. Yeah. So it just obviously it'll be a full screen.
It's really smooth. It's really easy to navigate. Show them the politics part.
And then
you can do your slogans. Oh, and of course we don't have any mayors to run against, but it's fun. It looks like a real ballot now. Oh, here we go.
So we can
pick your own color. Give them some juicy slogan or not.
Red or whatever we are, and then it'll list everyone down, and you can just quickly vote.
Fun.
So
and you can be like hanging out in Arden City and be like, I want to see who's running now, and you can just do anything everywhere, which is what I love. I really like that.
And for actual mayors, all the reserved vaults and village slogan and all that has all been done, and so it's all really clear. So lots of just general cleanup and prettyization. Is that probably
it is
not?
now.
It is.
I like it. Beautification. How about that?
Beautification. There you go. So next we'll go ahead and as many of you probably saw, there's a little environment tab here, which we're purposely not clicking quite yet. But first we'll talk about some of the village projects. So I'm going to do
seven new village projects.
Ignore what's happening right now.
Right, weird dev stuff, weird dev stuff. Flying. It's kind of fun though.
So there are, what is it? Seven new village projects.
7 new village projects.
In addition to the already existing ones that all are. So 4 of them are gathering focused. So this is down in the corner. So we're down in the corner of the village.
And what is this one called?
This is the fish hatchery.
The fish hatchery. Look how pretty it is.
You can actually, giant aquariums with fish swimming
around.
Look at
this. You guys see this? I love this.
So there's the fish hatchery, the geology lab.
What does the fish hatchery do?
The fish hatchery and the rest of them, all as you upgrade them, it increases the quantity that your gathering nodes in your village can hold. So the default is you put 20 items in, you stock a village node with 20 items, and you can pull 200 out of it. Leveling up these projects, it'll make it so that you always put 20 in, but the amount that you can get back go up and up and up. All the way up to 10,000, which, I mean, that's a lot. Like
that's like huge. Tell them, anyway.
Yeah, you can pretty much keep your whole village just stocked for the villagers to just kind of be able to do what they want, you know, and not have to go out into the combat, into the wilds.
See? Bountiful, again with this replenishing bountiful theme. Anyway, go on.
So there's the fish hatchery for fishing, the geology lab for mining, the seedling nursery for plants, which is wood, mushrooms, and fruit trees, and the sugar mill for bugs. So 4 different projects, and all of them level up those specific nodes. And I know many of you are like, oh, but that's hard because our village has a policy where we keep our nodes, you know, free, so that if someone wants to do shiny or something like that, well, never fear.
Worry not.
We will get there. When we talk more about gathering specifically, I'll talk about some of those changes.
Let's talk about the best projects of all.
So those are just 4 kind of nice little projects to help get, you know, things moving in your village.
And they're great. They're so needed because we haven't had projects in a while, and villaging is just one of the best aspects of our game, I think, and this just inspires people to work together and have fun together and share.
So 2 new projects over here in this little corner that was previously abandoned. You'll see 2 new buildings popping up.
These are also known as the 2 best projects. No, these are my favorites.
Oh, and by the way, if you're going to the training area, you no longer have to swim across the river. There's now a bridge in place. So it's a little perk.
Yeah.
So these projects.
Okay, so
here on the left we have Soilworks, and on the right the Arboretum.
So at first you're like, oh wow, a project about dirt. How boring. No, you guys are gonna lose time. I lost time for hours when you have these put together. So actually, why don't you boot it up and I'll just sort of explain.
Yes. So I'll go get it to a good place.
Pretend you have a blank canvas and you have bazillions of colors that you suddenly just get to start adding. Thousands of details everywhere. Sky, trees, leaves, shrubbery, moon, weather, lighting. It's what's it like? It's like composing a symphony. You just get to keep adding and adding. And I know I sound crazy, but it's so much fun.
So we'll pop it open.
But you're like, we don't know what you're talking about. Can you show us?
So this environment tab, which under the roster system and the ranks, anyone that's deputy mayor or above has access to the environment, so they can make any changes to the environment. And you can do this from anywhere. You don't have to click on a building or anything like that, like before. And you'll have this really nice environment window.
Yes, and again, you can do this anywhere. You don't have to just be standing at the actual projects, which is what's fun about it.
So before I change anything, the region right here is what was the Empyrean machine. So this changes your skies, and you have access right here.
How many regions do we have to choose from?
14, which is just like it was before.
And what do some of those look like?
Yeah, so you can just change any of the skies.
Ooh,
pretty different.
So these are regions in the game.
Yeah.
Just so you know what region.
Glittermore.
Glittermore.
And so see, there's some of the ones that were like lightened up. I think Glittermore Night used to be really dark.
Yeah. Thorncrest actually.
Thorncrest Night used to be pretty dark, and now it's a little bit more swimmy blue.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. That's a nice one.
Different.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Halcyon Night used to be really dark, and now it's a little bit more bright and red, and kind of the blood moon kind of. So different things there.
It's got that creepy, ghouly, fun. Yeah, it's a fun one.
So, so those are the skies which you already have access to on life. And then these 2 are new. So the terrain you can change, which is based off of the soil work project. As you level up soil works, you will get access to more and more kinds of terrain. And then over here we have trees, which is accessed by the Arboretum. You level up the Arboretum, you get more and more access to trees. And you can change your leaf trees and your pine trees independently of one another. So I'm going to turn it over to Sarah, and she's just gonna.
I'm basically just gonna flip through everything here because it's so fun. So let's pick us a good sky. I think I like I like them all. All right, we'll do Thorncrest for now. So then I can be like, so this is the part when I said dirt sounds boring. No, dirt isn't boring. Watch. Dun dun dun! Look at the grass. I'm making grass grow. Ooh, ooh. Let's go arid. Desert. I'm gonna move this. Are you guys be able to see this? Okay. Right, and then maybe I'm like, oh, desert, that doesn't work. Let's go blue sky. Oh no, oh, that works with the desert. Ooh, I don't know. I feel like I want to corrupt my dirt now. So let's go. Ooh.
So whenever you change the terrain, it changes the underlying color, and it also changes the color of the grass that's growing there, as well as the different flower colors that are there.
Okay, I love this one.
Azure.
So I feel like I need to new sky. And this is what, like, I'm not even kidding you guys. You will lose hours. Oh, let's see. You can just sit here for hours. Okay, and that's just 2 of those. Now we get how many thousands of variations of trees and...
Yeah. In total, there's 7,168 different ways you could customize your village through all these different dials.
Wait, say that number again?
7,168.
That's a number.
That's a lot.
And look at this. Like, see? And with every click, some new aspect, just makes you want to go back and then, you know, be like, oh, wonder what it would look like with this. Or maybe I should go back and do this. What is Ever saying to us?
Oh, he can't see the window on the...
Oh, this. Sorry. What about, can you guys see now? Okay. So we'll just keep doing some trees. Oh, pretty. But now I'm like, oh, I want different ground. Ooh, that's too orange for me. Ooh, that doesn't match. Anyway, do you see what I mean, though? It's like you just have this canvas and 1,000 colors of paint that you get to play with in a way that's, you know, more like an architectural design or something. Oh, see? Pretty. Okay, let's do some trees. More, or what do you call that? Like different kinds of trees.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
move the window down.
And let's change our sky a bit. And of course, one of the obviously great things is you're never going to have 2 villages look alike again. Yeah. I mean, it's not just mathematically impossible, but I think every village can have their own identity, like true identity, you know? And not necessarily just based on mood, like, oh, we're the cheerful pink village with pink soil and pink sky. No. It's so much more than that. This is just, I don't know. I personally think this is just one of the best features we've had in our game in a long time. I love it. Okay.
I also like that villages, if they wanted to, could theme themselves for the current event.
Yeah.
So for Sugar Sweet, you could have all pink in your village. For Midsummer, you could have all Greenhaven type stuff.
Yeah.
For Halloween, you can make your village super creepy and spooky.
Well, and that's what when we were talking about the graveyard district being no more, you can still have it. You can still get all corrupt. See, where am I? I'm on corrupt soil now.
Yep. Let's
find some night. Ooh, I just had some night. There's one with a beautiful moon. Okay, that's still too pretty to be the place of hell that it was, but that's okay. But you get the idea. Yeah, no, you'll just sit here for, like I said, hours. And what's great too is you can do it anywhere. You know, you don't just have to be standing in front of like a sign that says, "I am your village project."
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And so you can kind of see like, how does this look in Lakeside? And by the way, this themes the whole village. So Lakeside gets rethemed. Yeah. The borough gets rethemed. So the whole, you know, so you're like, oh, I live in Lakeside. I'm not going to get this cool new terrains and stuff. Oh no, you do. Your Lakeside totally gets rethemed, just like everything else.
So here was one of my first questions I had for Cameron. Let's see if you guys probably had it too. So whoever has access, what is it, 4 or however many people can do it. What happens if everybody's doing it at the same time? Because as you're changing, like right now as I'm changing everything, if somebody else happens to be doing it too, they're doing it at the same time.
So it's just the last person to change it gets it.
So in other words, it's kind of like working on a Google Doc together with someone. So I can be like, hey, Cameron, why don't you do the region and I'll do the trees, and we'll just do this together and we'll create this new masterpiece together.
Yeah. You can,
what a communal spirit.
Somebody can jump over to Lakeside and somebody can be in the main village and be like, how does it look over there? And, you know.
Yeah, it's just fun. Yeah. Okay. Looks like the always not pressing the right button. There we go. All right. Are you guys feeling like I've overdone this? Am I overselling, or I could just sit here for another like 30 minutes doing it?
Here, let's.
But,
let's make it a little creepy.
Yeah. Cameron knows every little weird little detail, obviously. Well, and obviously he created and designed all this, so.
So you can make your. This would be like maybe like a Halloween style.
Well, yeah, and think of, for those of you who like events and in-game contests, think of some of the competitions we could do with this. Village versus village, just who can be the most, I don't know.
Like, this is the village. Like, this
Look at this! Yeah, run around now. Show them what it really looks like.
This is just how the village is.
Love it!
Which is just cool, you know, and you might be like, oh, I don't want to live there. Well,
Change
and
it.
move or change.
Yeah.
Or if your mayor keeps wanting to do things you don't like, then you can run for mayor. Put a
There
nice slogan
you
in about how you're gonna.
There you go.
No more creepy skies. You know, that could
Vote
be
for
your.
me.
Yeah.
Pink.
Yeah. So let's do full maiden. We'll go.
Yeah. Woo.
So you could live in.
There, it's like your mini sugar sweet right there.
I mean, that's.
Only less candy.
I remember when we were making these, I think Damon said, he's like, oh, no one's going to want to live there. And we're like, well, that's up to them. If they want to live there, they can. If
That's
not,
right.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't really like Pink Land, but it's kind of cool.
It's mystical. That was actually one of the debates that we'd had, because I think it was Damon and Eva. They both wanted everything to be realistic, like sensible. And
like, let's get on our sugar sweet unicorns and run around in here.
Yeah, totally. But it's like, no, it's gonna be magical.
I'll show them my favorite.
Yeah, there you go.
I really like to do Thorncrest Knight with Azure Soil.
Ooh, yeah.
Greenhaven Leaf.
See, he's already got each little.
Yeah, and then
exactly.
Maiden Pines. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like colorful, and you have this like really rich blue sky. It's like the northern lights and.
Well, I think one of the first contests is going to be I want screenshots of people's villages, and I want them posted, and I want them on Discord, and I want to see what you guys create and come up with.
Yeah.
Yay.
Well, so that's another of the village projects.
We forgot one more project.
Yes, and we have one more project, which I'll walk us down there, and Sarah can kind of talk to us. Yeah. So there's the new town center, and over here you guys might have seen this little weird rocky outcropping. But there's actually...
It's kind of hard, it's a little tricky to find, I know, because I was using the map and there's all these little icons, and I was convinced I was blind and the icon wasn't there, but it is there. And now you're going to enter what is the fountainhead, the wellspring of it all. This is literally the wellspring.
There's actually a wellspring in game now.
This is from whence it all flows, the source of it all. And okay, let's walk slowly around and show them how beautiful it is.
Take hot tub baths in these little pools.
See, at Long Lost Villages, can you not see yourself having those midnight skinny dipping parties here? I mean, this is just the place. It is the place to be.
Little fairies and such. So it's just a cool little place. It's right in the center of your village. And what would it be without a project?
Gotta have a project.
So the Wellspring project is our first ever repeatable project.
Yes,
so we've never had one of these before. So a repeatable project, it'll take a few days to complete, not very hard. There's no ranks. And once it's completed, it'll give your entire village a really powerful buff. So
what kind of buff?
They're all village-related things. So it can make it so that, for example, one of them is garden crops all grow faster for the duration, and villagers can actually plant seeds above their level for a little while. So they can I'm almost ready for the next pie ingredient. I want to cook or grow some Zona sugarcane, but I'm not 90. Well, if you get this buff, it'll unlock it, and you can grow it for a few days. There's one that makes it so that your village gathering nodes just don't run out. They're infinite for the duration.
Talk about endless supply of everything. It's the best ever.
And there's several other ones. It's totally random which buff you get, so you just do the project and it'll give you a buff. Once completed, you get the buff for 3 days. So 3 full days, the buff will be unlocked. At the time, the project will be dormant and you can't access it anymore. And then once the buff is done, the project will reset and you can rebuild it again and get another 3-day buff. So
that's amazing. Yeah.
So you can just come down here and throw some stuff in and just always have something kind of running. So it's first ever repeatable village project, which is going to be really great for those villagers that always.
You guys cap out so fast immediately, so now you won't.
So yes, lots of exciting stuff on the village front.
Yay!
Let's see, where are we? 1:34. Doing terrible on time.
Oh, what time is it?
So we'll go kind of briefly on the next few things. So real quick, I'm going to talk about a new feature called Villager Insight. This is a really small little reward feature. Basically, whenever you level any of your gathering or crafting skills, so fishing, mining, plant lore, bug lore, wood crafting, cooking, smithing, tailoring, you will get a buff. The buff lasts for a short amount of time.
How short?
15 seconds
That's
per level you get. So if you level your bug lore from 79 to 80, Then as a reward for hitting 80, you'll get the buff for 20 minutes. So it's 15 seconds times 80. The village buff gives you +1 materials while gathering. Basically, it gives you the benefit of Yorick's hat, and it stacks with Yorick's hat.
Which is sweet.
Or it gives you craft times are reduced by half a second. So it's not an or. You get both those features, and you can choose how to spend it. So
does it activate right away, or can I
away.
save it?
As soon as you level up, you get the buff.
Oh, so I don't have a choice of like, oh no, I'm gonna be late for work, but I accidentally leveled up. I'm gonna waste my buff.
You probably shouldn't have leveled that one.
Well,
so
what about? Sorry, can I ask another question?
Yeah.
Because actually, I was playing around with this yesterday. So at level 1, I was trying the new gathering stuff, and I leveled up really fast everywhere, which is good, you know. But so what's happening if I'm leveling in like 10 minutes?
It'll stack. It'll start stacking up on top of itself. Okay. So if you already have it and you level again, the new duration will just be added to your existing duration.
There we go. Lose nothing. Good.
So it's just like a little reward. Way back in the day when we had energy, players would level up and then get energy refilled. And players liked that there was kind of some strategy and like, I want to wait to level up and try to do this. And so it's just a little reward. And it makes, it's really powerful boost. You're like, oh, I'm going to level up this. I'm going to level up my tailoring, and then I'm going to run over to the gathering node and mine a bunch so I can get,
maximum amount with that little time.
Little extra strategy there.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay.
The gathering changes.
So much here.
Lucky you, Diane.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you can do this one.
So gathering has been like really streamlined would be the word. Before there was a lot of noise in gathering. Messy.
Convoluted.
Gathering,
makes sense.
Yeah. You'd be just gathering from a mining node, and you would get all these different versions, and you were like, what's the difference between shiny copper and regular copper, and why is this a big fish and this not, and why can't I make decoctions out of this recipe? And it was just really kind of messy. So it's been totally streamlined. Now, instead of new items every 5 levels, they're every 15 levels. So, for example, copper, rather than going from 1 to 5, it'll go from 1 to 15. So all nodes level 1 to 15 will be copper. And there's no more variants. There's no more shiny. There's no more...
Which I think is awesome. It's tight, it's lean, it's clean, and it makes sense. You know, you can remember this stuff without having to be like, now shiny is the one that comes after the glitter, blah, blah, blah. And it's just...
And we'll get to what that means for crafting when we talk about crafting here in a minute. But it also makes it so if you're out in the world, there's no more, oh, that's a level 30 mining node. It'll now be, it's a copper deposit, and you get copper from it, and you always get copper from it. Same thing if you go and you can find a fishing school, and it'll be like a trout fishing school, and it says it on it, it looks like trout, and you get trout from it. If you go to a fruit tree,
imagine that.
You go to a fruit tree, and what's growing on it? Plums. What do you get when you gather from it? Plums. So everything makes a lot more sense. Everything's named a lot more cleanly. And you get what you want. So a lot of times what people use the village nodes for is to get what they want. Well, now you can get that anywhere. Also, going back to the village nodes, this is what makes it so that a lot of times villages wouldn't stock, like, don't stock the copper node because somebody might want to pull shiny or pull regular. Well, now there's none of that. So that's why you can have your copper village node stocked to 10,000 and it's fine, and you just pull from it as you need it.
And you know those problems that would always cause in villages when new players didn't quite know how that worked, and then they get yelled at, and then maybe they'd add stuff and they get yelled at too, and that's all gone now.
Yeah. In addition to that, a lot of the gathering stuff was renamed, new art. Everything has a neat little flavorful description that Sarah wrote up. So, like, just to show a few, there's the snouted alewife, which is a level 15 fish. The pond loach, level 1 fish. And then, cool little new art, new little description. So lots of new stuff, lots of...
It's gonna, feels new. Feels really fresh. Feels fun and fresh. New life.
Oh, here's a little fun thing. All of the eggs now have unique icons. Forever, all of the eggs had the same icons, and I'm sure a lot of you hoarders that had, like, just vaults filled with eggs were like, which one's which? They all have unique icons. You can tell exactly what they are as soon as you see them.
Which so keeps kind of nice our theme of things make sense.
Yes, things make sense. That's kind of the big thing. Let's see. Bountiful Gathering. Kind of a new feature. So you're like, well, what's the point of leveling up from 1 to 15 if I get copper the whole time. Well, actually, higher level nodes of the same type, so like copper nodes, the higher level you go, you will actually start pulling more resources from it. So if you're gathering from a level 1 copper deposit, you'll be getting about 1 item every time. And this is excluding clockwork harvesters and Yorks and all that. But if you're gathering from like a level 14, you'll get guaranteed 2, and then a really good chance for a 3rd. And it kind of scales all the way up in the middle there. So it's always worth it to always jump to your next node. Like, oh, I leveled up, I'm going to move up to the next node. And there's still the chance to miss if you try to gather at something higher. So it's always important to try to keep...
And it's an incentive. I mean, just even as you're, I don't know.
Yeah. So it's like you level up and you're like, I get a new villager insight buff for a little while, and I can move to the next node and I get more materials.
Linear progression makes sense.
And so there's kind of more perks and such.
Yeah, more good stuff for us. By us, I mean players, because, you know, we all play. Oh, look how pretty it is here. I just love it in here.
Another thing is there's some new kinds of fish and bugs. So we'll get in a little more what they do exactly, but kind of like how plant lore there's mushrooms, which are different from fruit, which is different from wood. Now fish has cooking fish, which are different from oil fish. And oil fish are used to make oil, which is a new name for decoctions, just because decoctions was a mouthful and spell check never liked it. And cooking fish are used for cooking recipes, and they're different things. They're different types of fish. They have different nodes. They look different. Totally separate items. And then with bugs, there are beetles and there are silkworms, which I bet you can guess what silkworms are used for.
See, without even having to read up on the notes, you already know.
And beetles are gathered from logs, and silkworms are gathered from silk nests. So they're totally kind of separate, but it adds an extra kind of flavor and variety, and it's never like, I don't know, have you ever been crafting and you're like, I'm going to make this fish dinner, and then you make a whole bunch of decoctions out of that fish, and then you realize you don't actually have enough fish left over to make the fish dinner, you know, that won't happen anymore. So now here's another cool new feature of Wellspring, Latch Gathering.
Woo! You've heard the phrase for 2 weeks now, 3 weeks. Yeah. Get ready to see it.
So now, if I want to gather, I don't have to click, click, click. Clickfest is no longer a word that you can associate with our game.
Bye-bye.
There's no such thing as a clickfest in our game anymore.
Not on our watch.
So you just go up to a gathering node and you click it. You'll initiate gather.
And how long does this last for? What's the time?
1 minute. So for 1 minute, you will just repeatedly gather. And every few seconds, it'll pop out. Oh. But I got a quest, so it disrupted it. Auto gather will still collect just like normal.
And you can still use your supplies as normal, and harvesters as normal. And by the way, it's going to be kind of fun for those of you who like clockwork harvesters. At first, it feels a little bit like insanity if you use that with premium supplies, because it's all just going to come at you. But then it's kind of fun in an adrenaline kind of way. I don't know,
as you see,
things I like.
You know, there's something popping out of the node about every 3 seconds, or 3 seconds, I think is what it is. Yeah. Because it's my supplies. So if you can see, you know, I'm gathering every 3 seconds, something's popping out. Well, if I want to change that rate, I just switch supplies. So now supplies are still in the game. I switch to the enormous fishing word, and all of a sudden it's gonna poof,
ooh, here we go.
It's just gonna start popping out. So supplies kind of controls the rate at which you gather, but you always gather for a full minute. And if you want to stop, you can walk away. There's nothing like locking you into gathering. But no more just clicking over and over again.
At all. So those of you with the sore hands, the sore fingers, the sore wrists,
yep,
you're going to be very happy.
And while you're gathering, you can chat or organize your inventory or
do tons of stuff
whatever.
Instead of
And if you still want to, you can still click up the repair globules.
Okay, I have a question for you, Cameron, because people have had this question. What actually happens to those auto clickers that are out there? Can you use an auto clicker on Latch Gathering?
It won't do anything.
It just won't do anything.
Yeah.
I don't get that. It's just not going to do anything.
If you see, I'll stop this gather. If I gather and then I continue to click, it doesn't do anything.
Nothing's going to happen.
There's just no point to it. So
that's kind of gone too.
Yeah. So because this is an auto clicker basically.
It really is. Yeah. So they won't get extra benefits by auto clicking if they used an auto clicker. Anyway.
So real quick, we're gonna bounce to another zone here. One other really popular request is gathering zones. Players really like gatherings.
Safe zones.
They like the gathering isles for Traven. They like Kiwa, Stone Gardens and stuff. So those have kind of been cleaned up and added to.
This is one of the best new ones.
So first of all, Lake Kiowa, the tutorial zones in Ardent City have all gather nodes up to level 10. Lake Kiowa then now has all gathering nodes from 11 through 29, so everyth's there. And then from level 30 through 40, the Forever Tree, now if you check the map, has a new little off chamber. And so, as you know, the Forever Tree is a safe zone. Let's see if I remember how to get that.
Wait, what happens with Trader's Path? I can't remember now.
It's
just the
it's
usual
just
nodes?
normal,
Okay.
yeah. And it's been like that for a while now. So kind of hidden back in this little corner. There's just this, it's called the Forever Hollow, and it's just kind of a new special place. You can see there's...
More midnight parties here.
Yeah, just kind of a cool little place.
Stonehenge kind of thing going on.
And it's like, look, here's a tree. What does that look like to you? It's kind of hard. It's a peach.
Yeah, I was like, don't ask me that.
But it's a peach.
Yes, it is a peach.
But see, it says peach tree. It looks like a peach tree.
It looks like a peach tree. It does look like a peach tree.
When you gather it, peach, it's pink. It looks like a peach, and then it goes in your inventory, and it's a peach.
Weird, random, round fruit that could be anything.
Makes sense. It always makes sense. That's kind of the whole thing. Like over here, well, actually,
look how pretty it is.
Yeah, so lots of little things. So over here we can see there's a sunset silk nest.
Good name.
It looks like the sunset. You can kind of see the colors in there.
You can recognize it without having to necessarily know the name.
And I get a sunset silkworm.
Well, imagine
that. It
makes
sense.
What?
And there's a little silkworm right there.
Look at the kilo. Okay, so I don't know. Are you guys like does this? Are you excited that we are in the way that things make sense now?
I see a question. Why so many peach trees? It's just because there's different levels. 34, 32, all the way. Because remember, if I'm gathering at different level nodes, I can get more materials.
Yeah.
So I want to continually go up to the highest and the best. Speaking of the village, whenever you're gathering from the village, it automatically tries to pick the highest level it can. So you always get that nice perk in the village. That's just a nice side benefit of the village. So here we got some largemouth grouper school. They look blue, and I think if you start gathering, they still look blue. Largemouth grouper goes in your inventory, and there it is.
Boom.
Makes sense.
And cool new icons too.
Yes, new icons. So yeah, so Lake Kiowa goes from 10 to 29. The Forever Hollow covers 30 through 40. The Gathering Islands, which was Barbing Rock, the Flowering Island, and Agari Cove, has been converted into one zone. So it's now just one zone. And it has all three of the islands still in it, but you don't have to zone between the different ones. And it now has all gathering materials from levels 40 through 59, so 4 higher than it used to.
Yeah.
At which point Stone Gardens then comes in. Oh, and Thriving Isles, the new name for the 3 gathering zones, no longer requires a key. So they're just free access.
That's actually a huge
Anybody can get in there,
because that was always a pain.
Stone Gardens still does require a key, and
because you gotta work to get in there. Yeah, I think.
But it does mean that a player will have a safe gathering location
all
from
the way
1 to 59 without requiring any sort of farming, or you don't need keys or anything like that. Starting at level 60 for Stone Gardens, up to 74, you will need to unlock that key. So yeah, so just gathering isles or gathering zones for all these different things.
You know, for those of you who don't love combat, you do have these, you know, safe places. The higher and higher you go, it's nice.
And you can always take it back to your village, stock it to 10,000, and then do that way too. So lots of different ways to gather. So now we're gonna briefly talk about crafting. Probably not briefly, because I just feel like I'm so long-winded.
No, this is good. There's so much information too.
So I'll teleport back to the village.
Let's talk about monster parts. I jumped ahead. Oh, right. What do you guys think? You like this one? Pretty. This is actually an old piece of art that we had like years ago, and we finally get to use it.
If you notice, I just teleported right to my house. Just boom.
Yeah.
I just can go do whatever I need there. Sadly, I don't think I unlocked the teleporters, so
I'm gonna have to cheat.
I'm gonna have to cheat again. Go into airplane mode.
Well, yeah.
What were we just talking about?
I have no idea. I forgot what you're showing me too.
I know we were going to talk about crafting.
Yeah. Now? Latch crafting? Well, yeah. Just latch crafting in the villages.
So we'll open up a crafting window, and you'll see it looks a little bit different. Mm-hmm. So there's latch gathering, and there's also latch crafting. So with latch crafting, you can craft the same thing over and over again for up to 60 seconds. This includes Motes of York, so they work in conjunction. It doesn't replace one another. So if you want to create one item at a time for 60 seconds, you can do that. Or if you want to create 50 items at a time for 60 seconds, you can do that.
Yeah, too. So yeah, that wasn't a concern of some.
So see here, if I want to make a copper ingot, just
and there's new words for.
Oh yeah, no longer
now.
pigs, because people get confused.
Yeah.
It's an ingot. That's what it is.
Timber instead of, what was it before? I'm already so used to the.
It was
one.
beams, and now
beams.
it's timber.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was decoctions. Now it's oil. It was beams. It's now timber. It was pigs. It's now ingots. And cloth is still cloth, and leather is still leather. So you'll see here I have two options. I have a mass craft, which is Motes of York, and I already have some in my inventory, so I can change this as much as I want. And I can pop it up to 50, and it'll add the 50 Mote of York cost, and it'll say craft for 3 seconds, creating 50 items. Well, I can take this duration slider, and I can start chucking it up. I can push it up, and it'll automatically, based off of what I have, kind of readjust. So it'll say craft for 21 seconds, creating 350 items. Because every 3 seconds, I'll create the 50 Motes of York version. But I can slide that down, and I can craft up to a minute. Craft for 60 seconds, creating 20 items. So it's whatever I want.
You can control it. And so
you have total control.
Nice. Yeah.
So I could be like, oh, I want to spend 5 Motes of Yorks at a time for 60 seconds, and it'll automatically readjust. And so this is where like the crafting time is really important. So you get the Villager Insight buff, that reduces your crafting time by 0.5 seconds, which makes it so you can craft a lot more items.
It's a good thing.
Same thing with premium tools and village perks. So again, no more ClickFest. ClickFest is gone.
Huge. This is huge.
Yeah. So as we're here making a copper ingot, I'll quickly talk about refining ingredients. Chaining is gone. We've completely removed chaining. So to make the next version of ingot, you don't need the previous version anymore. That used to be a perk of the village that some people had. It's totally gone. Anything can be created at any time. The recipes are always 2 to 1. Copper ingot requires 2 copper ore. Silver ingot requires 2 silver ore. It's just a simple recipe all across the board.
Lean and tight.
Yeah. And silver ore turns into silver ingots. Makes sense. Yeah. And so there's no more shiny variations. You just get the same, you just create, there's one copper ingot recipe, and you don't need to have 3 different kinds that give you 3 different quantities and 3 different requirements. And
don't you just get a headache even hearing what it was? Yeah. I do.
One special thing, I kind of touched on it earlier, but anything that's used to refine, so copper ore, for example, is no longer used in any other recipe. So copper ore only turns into copper ingots. You never need copper ore for something else. Same with fish. The oil fish only turn into oil. They aren't used in cooking recipes, so you don't have to worry about accidentally using something up that's
something
wrong.
else. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see the different kind of names. We got copper, mithril, pyrite, silver,
and because
iron, tin.
There's so few now, after a day of playing, you'll already know them cold.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll just be so easy.
So then we can talk about some recipes, gear recipes. Lots of things happen with general gear recipes. Reduction of items, so sometimes things will cost like 150 pigs or ingots,
insane amounts. Yeah.
Now it's like you can see this level 81 sword only costs 16. Lot simpler. No monster parts.
Oh yeah, let's repeat that one.
Yeah.
All monster parts are gone.
Yeah. So monster parts, it was a neat idea in concept, like the idea that you would find something in the world and you'd use it in your crafting, and I think a lot of people like that.
It was hard to find,
yeah.
and it's this sort of fun challenge.
But in practice,
it
and
became
actually
flat out
playing
annoying.
It kind of sucked. You would just be like looking for stuff all the time. You're trying to find the right kind of item. It made recipes really complicated. None of it made sense.
Nothing.
It's like
the spiders dropping the pelts and the
Or like, oh, you need a fang to create these gloves. Like what? Like what are you gonna? I mean, just didn't make any sense. So we just totally got rid of them. They're just totally gone. Existing monster parts will all be converted to Motes of York, so you won't just suddenly have things poof. You don't have to worry.
Nobody's losing anything in this.
But it makes the recipes a lot more simple. There's a new kind of item, and they're called components. It's kind of what used to be blazons and signets, but they're more specific, and they make sense. So we can see for this sword, I need some gold, 90 silver. I need some ingots, 16 mithril ingots, and I need this thing called a Felfer hand grip.
What's a hand grip?
So a hand grip...
How do I get one?
Is something that can be crafted, and it's... So like a hand grip, all weapons require hand grips. And there's different kinds of components. So all weapons require hand grips. All belts require a belt buckle. All boots require hobnails, which is a kind of an old-timey thing, but it goes on the bottom of your boot. And these things are cross-crafting. So, for example, I need to create this sword of smithing, and it needs a Felfer hand grip, which is created out of leather, which is a tailoring thing. Well, that's kind of a pain. Why do I have to level tailoring just to get this hand grip? You don't. Crafting a Felfer hand grip is very cost effective, costs very little gold, costs very little consumables, or very little materials. But if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to level your tailoring, you can go to a vendor. There's component vendors, they're in Ardent City, they're just normal NPC vendors, and you can just buy one. The cost of gold is a little bit more steep, but then you don't have to level your tailoring.
Quite a bit more steep. But
so,
in a good way.
Yeah.
But no, so I think everyone take a moment here. Like, this is actually kind of a huge difference, and I think it's a really good one, because so many times you've been, for those of you who aren't huge crafters, you just want to say only make your warrior stuff, and you're just into smithing, and the last thing you want to do is cook and tailor, and you finally have a way to do that. You don't just have to rely on other people to, can you please make me this? And it costs you some gold, but it's an option now. You can just keep going about your business, do what you want, and not feel like, oh, I can't progress in this game because I hate fishing, or, you know?
And the cool thing about it is, if you are one of those people that like to have all your skills level, you'll get a really good benefit from being able to create your own things. If you're not, you could, I could create hand grips and put them on the auction house at a cheaper price than the vendor, because I will still be making money.
Profit,
and so it's going to really spur some in-game economy.
Big time.
And it just makes everything a lot simpler.
And where would we find these sorts of NPCs who would sell us these vendors?
So they'll be in Lake Kiowa, they'll be in Ardent City, they'll be in Summers Hollow, they'll be in the Village. The Village has, each district everywhere. I think has some component vendors. So lots. And also the components make sense. So let's see if we can load them up here. So like mining, talking too long. Smithing
there we go.
Makes hobnails, which are used for boots, and buckles, which are made for belt buckles. So what is this? It's a mithril belt buckle. What do you think a mithril belt buckle is made out of? It's
made of, what could it be?
Mithril.
What?
It makes sense. So if you say, oh, I want to create a belt, it needs a mithril belt buckle. Well, you can bet that it's made out of mithril ingots, which is made out of mithril ore. So
it's all connected in a very simple way, which it still has the complexity that we're talking about, though.
Yeah. So let's move on to permanent consumables. Several questions about what that was, because that was on the website, and we're just going to show you. So all the crafting lines used to have salves or powders or scraps, and they were things that you ate. You'd eat a piece of cloth,
consume your cloth.
Yeah, what? Mitigating scrap.
Isn't that what we all do? We eat our cloth.
Yeah, totally. And it gives you armor. Didn't you know?
Didn't you know?
So now they are no longer consumables. They're permanent consumables, which is a little bit confusing, but I'll go ahead and give a demonstration. So right here, I have exquisite Gosper Embroidery. So this is made of tailoring. Use: embroider an outfit to permanently increase armor by 38. Target outfit must be 38. So we can just take this item, and we can just drag it over. Well, I'll show you. This isn't a very good outfit. Has no stats on it at all. But I can take this. I can just put it on my armor.
Boom.
I'll apply it, and then I can mouse over, and there it is. There it is. Plus 38 bonus armor.
And did it vanish in here?
Yeah, there was 15. Now there's 49.
You used it, and it's gone.
And now my armor
went in there.
So
can you put it on different? Once you put it on one item, it's there forever, or can I move it around?
Yes, it's a consumable. So it's like it used one and it put it on that armor, and it'll stay on that armor forever. If I upgrade the armor, get a new piece of armor, I'll have to do it again, obviously. But no more. Oh, I forgot to eat my scrap, or I forgot to do this. It's just a permanent thing,
and it's not cluttering up your inventory when you use it.
So, and each crafting line has its own, and there's also something else about preparation, but we'll get to that in a second.
Oh, yeah.
Real quick, we'll talk about crafters jewelry. So what a lot of people know is the chest mechanic. You'd make these pouches, and you have all these recipes, and you get.
Be honest, it was a love-hate relationship, and it leaned more toward hate, I think, for most of you.
So that's been totally simplified. The biggest thing is there are no more rings. There are only amulets. But what the rings gave has been one-to-one folded into the amulet. So there's no loss whatsoever. But you don't have to create 2 rings in an amulet. You just create 1 amulet. And it's an enchantment. It is an enchantment. You put it on one time, it'll infuse to your character, and then it's there forever. You don't have to swap gears.
Nice.
How many people have been wailing away at Pyrus, wondering why my damage is so low, and then you check and you realize I have all my crafting jewelry on, I don't have all my good stuff on. So it's just right there. No more combat restrictions on them, so they don't have a level requirement, so you can just put them on. If you're a villager that's level 10 combat, but you're level 90 tailoring, then you can put your crafting jewelry on. They're no longer a chess game. It's now an actual just crafted item, and it has an expensive cost. And all 3 of the different types became unique to one of the different crafting lines. So smithing now makes the Annabelle's necklaces, which reduce crafting costs. Tailors can make York's necklaces, which increase melt find and supply find. And woodcrafters can make Frederick's necklaces, which increase guile, the chance to not use motes up. So we can just go check out a recipe. So you just make the item. It costs a lot of materials. You can see here it's just an enchantment, and you just put on the new one and it'll upgrade it. If you rebirth, you keep your enchantments.
Oh yeah, good to bring that up.
And even if you do rebirth, because there's no level restriction on them, you can continue to upgrade and there's no penalty. The one thing is it requires the previous version to make. So
what does that mean?
So you have to start at the bottom, just like crafting tools, and you make the bottom one, and then when you make the next one, so this one is Annabelle's Emerald Brooch, and the next one up, Annabelle's Ruby Brooch, requires Annabelle's Emerald Brooch. And it can be a husk, so you can put the first one on, get the enchantment, and then you just keep the husk in your vault somewhere, and then when you're ready to upgrade,
just to do this again.
You upgrade it. So no more of that complicated chess stuff and looking for pieces and plan, what do the players call it, go fish, or something like that. So just a lot simpler of a system. Okay.
Did pretty good there.
We're doing... It's 2 o'clock. Wow. Okay, well, let's rush through this.
Well, yeah, what's left?
Okay. Crafting specializations.
Specialization.
So this is totally new. This was not on the website.
Let's go to Ardent City to show them.
Oh, okay. So...
Yeah, so... It's so new as in 3 or 4 days ago now.
Yeah. So crafters are now able to specialize. There are 5 specializations, and once a crafter picks it, it is that permanent and it's forever. So a lot of the criticisms of the Villagers and Heroes village side of the game is, well, everybody becomes everything, so there's no trading, there's no reason to find or get
there's no sense of I'm uniquely awesome.
Yeah. Well, now there is.
Now there is.
So you can pick one of 5 different specializations, and depending on what you pick, it gives you really powerful,
really good stuff.
Changes. Specializations are any class is good with any specialization, and if you like to do this or that, every specialization has something for you.
But here's the wrinkle. Once you pick it, it's permanent, and you can never ever change it again. Yep. So you need to choose wisely. Yeah.
And you can't swap in and out or anything.
No, that's it. Your character is forever this.
Yes. So to pick a specialization, it does require that you purchase a special mark of
coolness
specialization, which is through the charter system, which we'll get into changes in that later.
Man, we're never gonna get through all this.
I know.
Okay.
So it's expensive, it's hard to get, but once you get it, it's permanent and lasts forever. So we'll run through the specializations really quick. You can be a weapon master. Weapon masters, whenever you craft a weapon, it crafts it as if it was 1 rank higher in rank. So that means that as soon as you start crafting something, you immediately are creating uncommons. And you get all the benefits of the +1 rank. And once you get to 5 stars, you have a chance to start creating epic. So weapon masters can create epic weapons, and this includes shields as well. Shields is considered weapons.
And the stats aren't the same that you would just get on crafted items.
Yes. So weapon masters also have the specialty that whenever they craft a weapon or a shield, that weapon or shield is able to roll any stats, even those typically excluded from crafted stats. So
like world gear kind of drop.
Yeah. So like magic find, which is typically not found on crafted gear, weapon masters can find that on their weapons. I think that's a one. So it basically makes things equivalent to what you could find in the world. So weapon masters are going to be really powerful, and that they can create these awesome weapons that they can
that nobody else can.
Yeah.
Only you can.
There's also Armor Master. So Armor Master is the same thing as Weapon Master, but it doesn't get that special stats bonus. The reason is because Armor Masters isn't just weapons and shield, it extends to its armor, helms, gloves, boots, belts, all of it.
Everything.
And so Armor Masters, but they can also make epic armor.
Okay.
There's the Potions Master. Potion Master is specifically targeted towards cooking, which makes it so... Oh boy.
Okay, is this the one that waives the gold cost?
No, that's the next one.
Sorry. Okay.
Potion Masters, whenever you craft a potion or a dram, so it's any health potion or any type of dram, you have a chance to create between 1 and 5 extra for no cost. So sometimes you'll just be crafting a health potion using your gardening ingredients, and all of a sudden it'll say you created 5, but it took the ingredients for 1.
It's gonna feel good when you get that.
Yeah. And additionally, they learn 2 new types of drams. So
Malice.
Malice, which increases savagery and brutality.
That's a sweet perk, by the way. And
both for the price of 1.
Treasure.
And treasure drams, which increase magic find. And only potion masters can create these. So if you're a potion master, you can create these and put them on the auction house, give them to your friends.
So you can make a fortune, or you can be just really nice and give them away free, or you can just use them for... It's just... Each of these classes has its own very, very powerful, unique things. Yes. Which is why when you make the permanent decision, it's going to be hard.
Yeah. And also you might be curious, like, well, cooking doesn't make drams. They do now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's several different changes to crafting. One of them is all of the drams for all crafting lines has been moved into cooking.
Doesn't that make more sense?
Yeah, you're making potions with cooking, and the recipes are greatly simplified. And drams are no longer used to make hats. Hats have their own special components, and so that's all changed. Also, we didn't mention, but woodcrafters can make trinkets now.
Oh yeah. That's actually that's a huge one too.
Woodcrafters can make special wooden carving trinkets that are soulbound, so only woodcrafters can use them, and they come with a unique trinket feat, which gives them themselves an absorb shield. So kind of cool. All right, back to crafting specializations. So we did Weapon Master, Armor Master, Potions Master, Preparation Master. So preparation is what we showed you before, the permanent consumables. So there's 1 per crafting line, and they're a recipe and they cost gold. Preparation Masters don't cost gold to make them anymore. They just totally get to make them for free. They have a few little components, refined materials, but they can make them for free.
Which, when you end up doing the math and you look at all the gold that you spend crafting, this is a good specialization.
Yeah. So totally free. Additionally, they get 3 unique preparation items that they have access to, 1 per crafting line. So as soon as you take the specialization, you learn all the recipes, and they all boost rare stats. So there's 1 that boosts blasting, 1 that boosts poise, and 1 that boosts juggernaut.
Is that true? No.
I need to check. So much information in my head. And only they get to make those, and they're freely tradable, so you can make them, give them to your friends, make them and sell them, but only you can do it. And then finally, there's the Production Master. So the Production Master is kind of for those people that are like, I don't really want weapons or armor or specialize in potions or whatever. I kind of just want something that's generally really good. Production Master might be for you. They have 2 main perks. 1, all crafting XP is increased by 50%. So they just get a straight 50% XP bonus. So good luck leveling. I mean, it's a huge boost. Additionally,
no mods.
Whenever you trigger Guile, so the moat reduction chance, typically you have a chance to, when you're crafting, it only uses half of the moats that are required. As a Production Master, whenever that triggers, you get all of your moats back. So you could craft 50 of something, and it doesn't cost any moats to you whatsoever if you're a Production Master.
So now imagine if your friend never has any moats, this is a way that you can actually just give them moats and you haven't lost anything. So it's just completely win-win. Yeah. Or you can be super selfish and just be like, oh, I'm just always going to craft unlimited, never have to use moats. Yeah.
So crafting specializations, it's 1 per character. You get to pick 1 on a character, and then it's permanent.
You have to take a test before you're allowed to do this.
Yeah,
kind of like the rebirth test.
Just to really make sure you know what you're doing.
I failed it the first time. I passed it the second time.
And another thing, just to clear up any confusion, specializations don't take anything away. They're purely benefits
yeah.
on top. So just because you're a weapon master, you can still craft armor just like a normal crafter can. There's no change there whatsoever. It just means that when you're crafting weapons, you're that much better at it. So you don't lose anything by picking a specialization. It's purely bonuses on top.
And this is all just purely optional. You know, it's not like
if you don't want one, you don't have to make one.
You know, but you have to get those the new charter tokens.
Which maybe that's a good segue.
God, we're only on tokens. Okay.
Okay. Well, that's topic number 7. So we're
we're not bad.
Maybe we'll just cut this one.
Are you guys still with us? Are we boring you guys? Is everyone good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we'll just cut that thing and then just do that quick and we'll be done.
Yeah. Okay.
So charters have been completely reworked. Charters are no longer quests. So it used to be you'd get a quest and it'd tell you to do this or whatever. Give me a few of these, and then you get a charter token. Totally gone. Now charter is totally vendor based. So
let's go see those
we'll
vendors.
Look over the vendor. And before I open this up, because everyone's going to be super startled by the prices, because of balance changes, the amount and quantity and prices has drastically been increased. But don't worry, it's still balanced as it was before, and any previous charter tokens that you already had will automatically be upscaled to the new valuation. So you'll log in and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I have so many charter tokens, and it's because the system recalibrated and boosted how many you have. So we'll see here we have a charter token vendor. Can open it up and you're like, wow, those prices are so high. Don't worry, it all balances out.
This is also where you can get your mark of specialization.
Yeah, so we'll see there's crafter's mark of specialization, which when you look over it, it tells you that this is what you need to become specialized in something.
Then you talk to Siri.
You'll see the typical Yorick's crown is right in here. Mode of Yorick is now for silver charter tokens, which was a popular request.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So the charter token vendors are like, oh, I can buy everything here. Well, what about getting tokens? Well, that's the thing.
How do you get a token?
You take any material and any crafted item, and you say, I don't want it anymore. Right here you can see in the tooltip, sell value, 1 charter token, total stack value 250. So you just take copper ore, pop it over there, boom, 250 charter tokens.
It's awesome. It's just
no more turning in quests over and over.
Yeah.
No more giving them what they want. You know, if they say, I want apples, and you're like, well, I have 200 pears. Can't you take some pears from me?
Can I get something for my pears?
You can check whatever else you want. You can just sell it right to the vendor. You get the tokens back. No more clicking quest over and over, like sitting at the vendor over and over. It's just, you can just chuck things in so
it's simple,
quick.
It's quick, it's tight.
Yeah. And you're like, well, what about XP? I used to get XP. Well, it's all balanced in there. Chartervoke vendors now sell skill books. So you can see there's one for every skill in here. And like here's the Secret World of Bugs. It's an uncommon item. Double click to use it. Gain 2% experience towards your current level in bug lore. So you can hold them. You can use them whenever you want. I can use it and I'll automatically, let's just actually buy one.
Yeah, let's just do one.
So here, let's go, where's this? A Dummy's Guide to Smithing. So we'll buy it. We get this little book over here. And you can see down here, I'm smithing at 85, 0%, 0 out of 3.6 million. Double click it, boop, it automatically does it, and now I have 2% of that level. So if you, and it's balanced so that it's just like the old system. It's, if you were turning in stuff and getting experience, except now you have the choice. You're like, do I want to get experience? Do I want to get double experience, or do I want to get no experience? You can kind of choose how you want to use it. So charter systems just super easy now. So simple.
You guys are gonna love it.
Yeah.
I think so.
It also makes the under the hood stuff a lot more efficient because the charter system was really bad
those bug
on the
quests
system.
and oh, so and so bug charter ladies stuck, and anyway, it's all nice.
And the one little thing is there are still guard charters. However, they're no longer part of the guard. They're no longer part of the charter system. They're just called guard patrols. They behave exactly as they were, but now they give a little bit bonus experience, and they don't give a charter token. So they're just totally kind of separate, but you can still get that repeatable always quest. So that works just as it used to.
You'll feel good.
What is that? I'm more than halfway to my gather hat. What happens? No hat. If you are more than half, like let's say you're exactly halfway to getting your gathering hat right now on live, after Wellspring goes live, you'll be exactly halfway to getting your gathering hat still. It'll automatically readjust all your charter tokens up to the new valuation, and you'll automatically be able to, you'll be right where you were. So you won't lose anything. So don't be scared off by the big numbers. It's exactly balanced as it used to be. Okay, skipping that. We were going to talk to you guys about the new calendar, which you saw on the website.
How about we'll just keep it real simple? Awesome new calendar.
Yeah.
Get ready. You'll like it.
Yeah, we'll just There's a new version for new players, new version for regular players. I guess we'll just pop it up real quick.
Yeah.
So here's the new calendar.
So yeah. People are confused. There's two calendars. One is just for new players, or called the New Player Experience. And so for 30 days, it's good on all your characters on your account.
Yeah. And that replaces what used to be the 7-day little freebie calendar.
That little archaic thing that would pop up.
Yeah.
And like, what? Yeah.
So that 7-day calendar is gone. The new player calendar also makes it so you can't miss days. So never like, I played one day, logged in the third day, and I didn't get a badge.
No miss jumping slippers.
No longer. You'll get everything.
7 tickets.
Always get everything.
Yeah.
So that's gone. Once you're done with the new player calendar, you'll start doing the regular calendar. They're monthly based, so we can see here's May's. And unlike the new player calendar, you can miss days. Huge, awesome rewards. Awesome rewards.
We were going to show you, but then we thought, nah, let's just get them all excited.
Yeah.
So be excited.
So you can just see kind of some cool stuff. Every month has a special prize that's unique to its month. It's kind of themed for the holidays and such like that.
Okay, and also to be clear, this is where some of the confusion was. On these regular calendars, those are the ones that only good on one character, as opposed to 3.
Yeah. So the
Whereas
new player calendar
one,
is per
all your
character,
characters.
and the regular calendar is account wide.
Yeah.
And so old 7-day new player calendar is gone. Old 5-day login bonus is gone. This replaces that, and then lucky cards are also gone. So if you have any unspent lucky cards,
2 weeks. About 2 weeks now, and better start spending.
And maybe we can go in a little more detail on this later, but the rewards are really, really awesome. All right.
Wow. Okay, I feel bad. He's been doing all the talking. You want to take a sip of water? What can I do here? Where are we?
Right here.
Oh, I'm not talking about it now. I'm just kidding. Okay, let's talk about. Have any of you guys ever had a guild leader who hasn't logged in for like days, weeks, months, and you can't invite anybody to your guild? You don't know what to do. And they're like, we don't know what to do. Life sucks. Guess what? Those days are over. Because at long last, you can promote players to new guild official rankings, and they will have the ability that guild leaders had to invite new players in. So, yay! This is great. I know that's just been a huge issue for a long time now, so we're very happy that this can make people happy. And it's easy on me because I don't have to keep logging in as extinct guild leaders and transferring leadership have to get another dev to do it with me, and it's a big giant PETA. Anyway, so see, it's a win-win here for everyone. So that's a good one.
So we're just going to go through a few kind of general improvements that kind of come with Wellspring that are just players are like.
Let's see, auction house. Oh yeah. Jeez. Now see, that could be another 20 minutes. No, we'll just make it real quick. We can sum it up with auction house has been super cleaned up, and things are very, very specific and clear. And for those of you who just want to be like those one-stop shoppers and only want the premium stuff.
Yeah.
You can do it. Just be like, I only want the best.
So some of the names were reworked. Like before, it would say Curious for armor or jerkin or whatever. Now it's just regular. There's now a category for tokens, so you can just quickly find new tokens.
So this is good too.
Consumables has been reworked with the new system, and everything is
Makes
here.
sense.
So you're like, I want to look for breakfasts. I want to look for health potions, etc. Same thing with ingredients. Totally cleaned up right there. Refined ingredients. Components. The new system. You have thread, hand grips, buckles, hobnails.
So, and this is why altogether we think the economy is really going to change for the better here. Again, that word, thriving.
There's now a new category in the auction house called Premium.
This is the one-stop shopping one.
So you can automatically go and you can see if anyone's selling some crown bags.
I just want the good stuff.
You can click Derrig and you can see if people, and this will include unlocked chests, locked chest, and keys, so you can quickly just find anything relating to Derrig.
That's nice. You don't have to sort through a bazillion different blah blah blah.
You can look and see if anyone's selling any type of mount that you might want to buy. Toys, nog packs. Moats of York has its own category now. Storage, bank vaults, bags, all that kind of stuff. Supplies has its own category now. And then other premium items like full heals and stuff like that. And then some of the old categories that were never ever used.
Like ever used?
Like seeds or tools, like stuff like that.
When was the last time somebody bought a seed in the auction house? Come on.
So just kind of quality of life.
Efficient.
Nice,
It's very efficient.
You can find what you want and you can sell what you want. And it should make this mixed with all of the stuff we've been talking about with specializations and stuff like that. There should be a lot more economy in game, which is exciting.
Yeah. That is the goal. Okay, character renames. I'm very excited about this one because that's probably been the #1 thing that people want or request or demand the most, which is they haven't had the ability to be able to rename themselves, and now you will. The feature is now in.
So it's an item shop item.
It's called Right of Rename. And
you
yeah, you can do it to your heart's content.
Yeah. It'll automatically update, so your village and your guild and your friends
yeah, good point.
will know who you are.
Do I have to go make new friends all over again?
Yeah.
No, you're good.
But if you burn some bridges and
you're like, I need to be a new person now.
You need to be a new person. You can remove all your friends, get out of your village, rename yourself, and you're like, I'm just the new guy.
You don't have to like delete your character like I know some of you would do.
Yeah.
So that's huge. The key. I really like the new key factor. The redeem keys. Can you pull down the menu?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So no more typing in that code, the /redeem code. No more people saying, what's a key and how do I get it?
There's it right on the menu.
Boom.
Redeem code.
Little picture of a present. Type it in.
It looks
boom.
better than it used to.
Yeah, and it doesn't like stay on the screen and do weird like slothful stuff. So that's huge. We like that. Sorting. Yeah.
There's been some gardening cleanup, so reduction in a lot of gardening grow times. A lot of things that used to take 9 hours to grow, like veggies and fruits, now grow in 5 hours. Generally, it was just cleaned up. There was a lot of like, oh, there's supposed to be a spice here and there's an herb and all this weird stuff gone. There's no more hasty and regular herbs. There's just herbs.
No more hasty.
But regular herbs now have all the benefit that hasty herbs have. So it's just one item, one buff. You don't have to be tracking 2 stacks all over the place. Yeah, so just generally it's going to be a lot cleaner and a lot less noise going on and faster grow times. Maybe that one.
Where are we now? Oh, yeah! Geez, how do we put this one at the end? Okay, so here's one that I love, and I hope you guys will love too. So, you know how when you have tons of quests that are active and you're all over the world and you go and do stuff for like 2 days and you're like, come back to your quest and you have absolutely no idea where to go, even though your quests are tracked? So we now have quests tracking through portals, which means literally those helpful arrows on the ground, which before would only work for the actual zone that the quest was in, they'll now literally direct you exactly all the way back to whatever zone you need to be in for the next part of your quest, which is just huge. This is it's going to be, once you guys experience it, you'll be like, oh my god, now I can finally finish all those quests that have just been hanging around. And I mean, it gives you a little tip as you go through the portal, like a little tooltip reminder.
So for example,
arrows all there.
Here we are in Ardent City. We have the meeting cog quest because we did some gathering. So find the coterie of gatherers on the southern side of Summers Hollow. Well, we're in Ardent City, way away from Summers Hollow.
Yep.
But you can see that right down here, the quest arrow is now appeared, and where is it tracking me to?
Show 'em.
It's tracking me over to this portal right here.
And portal to Marigold Harbor. There, and so you know it has the quest
Just wait for the following quest, meeting cog. So then you go into that zone, and it'll track you into the next zone, into the next zone. It'll always just take you right to where you need to go, so there's no like confusion.
And so, can we say it one more time? It all makes sense.
I mean, well, that should have been the name of the expansion. Just makes sense. Really. Villagers and Heroes makes sense.
So yeah, that's a huge one. The 30-day tools from the Realm bonuses are now permanent.
Yep.
I think people were pretty happy about that one.
Yep.
And the other 3 that weren't as cool before are now on equal par.
Yeah, so just no longer people would start playing the game and then all of a sudden be like, I can't gather, and it's because they had a tool and expired, and it's just, well,
so this is good. So yeah, it's for when you the Realm bonus when you first create a character, the pack you get.
Yeah.
And now I'm trying to rush. Wait, did we really do it? Did we get through this all?
And then 2 very small things. Motes of Yorick now confirm upon deletion, so you don't accidentally delete a whole stack of Motes of Yorick. It'll now be like, are you sure you want to
delete this? Had a few hundred tickets on that one before.
So it'll now say, we can just actually show you. So if I try to delete this stack of Motes of Yorick, it'll be like, this is a premium item, are you sure?
Don't do it.
And you're like, oh, never mind, I do not want to do that.
So this is good.
So
some mobile players, particularly the interface was such that.
And then on PC only, with bag sorting, because on mobile bags automatically sort. Common requested feature is now however you set up your bag sorting, it'll actually save it. So if you close the game out and come back tomorrow, it'll remember what your settings for bags were. So no longer will you accidentally sort your whole bags. It's just a nice little feature that one of those things that would annoy people when it would happen. But now it saves it, so you can just like set it up and always have it ready to go. So
this build also, we've been trying to do things that, just what he said, won't annoy people.
Yeah.
All those little annoyances, you're like, I wish they'd do this. Wouldn't it be nice if this? So we really tried to do a lot of that.
Yeah. So so I think that's a good place to cut it.
Wow, look at 225.
Yeah, we can talk.
But yeah, I think you all have a pretty good idea of what to expect now with Wellspring in a good way. And I don't know, we're excited about it. Like 3 months ago, I started calling it the Happy Build. It's the Happy Build.
Yeah.
So. And
I'm sure you guys have tons of questions. Remember,
we're not answering any of them today.
Yeah. We'll do the AMA next Tuesday. That's stands for Ask Me Anything, so you can go on Reddit and you can ask questions.
We'll do a big post in advance so you guys will know how to do that.
And then next Friday we'll be doing a Q&A live stream. We'll be right back here, Twitch. And you guys can bring your questions and we'll just be
literally
answering.
Literally going to ask whatever you want, literally.
And when that live stream goes live, the ledger will have been out for a day, and then I think patch notes for Wellspring will even
Friday
be out.
night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys will have kind of a good idea of questions to ask.
Friday morning. Yeah. And then we'll do
So now I think
we should give some stuff away.
I think we should.
I think you should. This guy's probably been talking and is exhausted. Okay, so let me just. Where am I? I keep forgetting where I should look this way. Okay, so we're gonna try this raffle thing. It's like a Twitch bot. We've never used it before, so it might not work. But okay, wait. So I forgot what we're giving away. All right. So basically, it's gonna roll a random number, and it already has a list of all of you guys. This so-called genius bot, and then it's just suddenly gonna spit out a name in chat. Or it might not, because I might have done it wrong. Yeah. So that'll be the fun. Which will it be?
So for this first prize, it's going to be an extra vault.
Yes. Prize number 1 is for extra vault space. So it's basically anyone who's on this Twitch chat right now is who this computer is drawing from.
So, and if you win, and your Twitch handle, well, we need to know who you are. So if you win,
I think I just click roll, and then I'll manually send these prizes to you guys in the next hour.
But we just need your info. So if you win, make sure that you talk to Ivar, and get him your in-game name and server. And server, please.
Exactly.
So we can get you your prize.
So I've never done this. I'm just gonna click roll and see what happens. No, let's see. Here we want everybody on. Okay, maybe
no, go all the way down on that one.
I'll just go.
Try.
Okay, let's see what happens.
There's none. Okay. Maybe do
active
there.
Only people who spoke in the last 20 minutes. Is that what we should do?
Yeah, let's try that.
Okay, roll. Is it doing anything? Like in the chat, can we tell? There is none to roll from. Hey, Ever, human bot. I think we're gonna do the backup way.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah. See, we didn't actually test this because we weren't live.
We couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully it's not just rolling a bunch in chat.
Yeah,
they're like,
I tell us, are a bunch of names popping up in chat at all? We can't see. Drum roll.
No, he's definitely not.
No. Okay. Well, anyway, we'll perfect this whole twitchiness at some point. Ever, who is our lucky winner number 1, please? Tell us in the chat.
I'm not actually rolling.
He's rolling. He's rolling. Yeah, okay, I have no idea.
That's too bad.
And this is for a vault space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Twitch is being twitchy. Twitch is being very twitchy. No, it's actually might be a little bit of me with Twitch. I don't. All right, cross his fingers. Where are we, Ever?
Yeah, and Ever do all 3. Well, maybe we should do the other prize while we're getting the
Yes,
the 3
well,
names.
Ever's doing his robot, so...
118 sided die. Yes, we have just... Okay.
All right, how about everyone? A key for you all.
Yes.
Please enjoy. Thank you for watching. This key is good for 72 hours. And maybe it should have said Wellspring makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be what the next key is.
Yeah.
But for now, easy to remember, one word, Wellspring happy.
So did Evar pick a winner?
I have no idea. Oh, we got some congrats.
Lots of congrats.
Ever, who are our lucky winners? I almost called him Vanna.
Okay, Warrior Cat is our first
Woo,
winner. So
Warrior Cat, congratulations, you won a vault space. The second prize is, where's our thank you? Where'd it go? So prize number 2 is an Ux Companion. Who's lucky in winner number 2?
So, waiting for Evar to pick the second, and go ahead and pick the third, Evar, when you're ready.
Yeah, just go ahead.
Second winner is Dust Devil Vis USA 3.
Dust Devil. Okay, so we have Warrior Cat and Dust Devil so far.
So Dust Devil won an Ux Companion.
Okay.
And our third
Oh, wait.
winner.
That was bolt.
And remember, if you win, we need your information, so you gotta put it somewhere.
Dust Devil gets Oxen Companion,
And
the
the final
third
prize
is a Starfire Unicorn.
Mount. Third
Mount.
winner, Hender Shot Bleak.
Ooh,
All right, congratulations, you
Hender
just won a
Shot
mount.
Bleak.
Starfire
Woo!
Unicorn. Cool.
What was it? Hender. I'll find it when I go back
Right
and
on.
do that. Okay, so
All
we'll
right.
get those to you within the next 30 minutes. And
Let's put that key up one more time. Just for,
yep, tell your friends. Here's the key.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Ba-da-ba. And we thank you guys for coming and joining us, and a lot
Thank
of
you
people
so
coming out.
much.
And
And a quick shout out to all our testers who put in a lot of time helping us get this build ready for live, which is on May 14th, by the way.
Yep. And we're heading right there. So see you guys at the AMA. See you guys next Friday at the live stream. And yeah, we're excited for Wellspring. So hope you guys are too. So that was Wellspring First Look.
Bye.
All right. See you guys.